Well, that's season 5 over, and now the wait is on for season 6. To be honest, I was planning on making this video later, but with my job and a lead up to Christmas, I've no idea what my upload schedule will be like for next month. But if you're new to the show, I'm sorry to say that season 6 isn't out yet, and some rumours say it won't be out for a while. But welcome to the herd. We have tacos, muffins, and there's some dudes in the background. None of these are confirmed as episodes in the upcoming season, they're just things that I personally would like to see in future Friendship is Magic episodes. Anyway, on with the list. Number 10. Whimsy meets Spike. Like I said in my Twinkle Wish Adventure review, I'd quite like to see Whimsy, the dragon from that film if you haven't seen it, appear in Friendship is Magic. Most likely in some sort of Spike-focused episode. She'd likely be written differently than the original Whimsy. After all, the G1 Spike that G4 Spike is based off of was a villain. Or at least worked for a villain. But I think it would be a better look at dragons in Equestria than Dragon Quest. Number 9. Starlight Glimmer. I think this should be a given, but if Starlight Glimmer is going to be a reoccurring character, or more specifically Twilight Student, she needs to have her own episode. It doesn't have to be big, but just enough to let us get to know her better. Number 8. Zecora Zebra episode. Zecora is still one of my favourite characters in MLP. In fact, back when I had an OC, I made it a zebra because of that. However, we know very little about Zecora, or even zebras. Now granted, that is what I thought was so cool about them to begin with. And that is something they need to expand upon in MLP. Do the zebras have their own nation, or do they just live in small pockets all over the world that we're never given a name for, similar to Zecora's hut in the Everfree Forest, or what? Speaking of Zecora, number 7. Alternate Universe. In QT Remark, we were introduced to many potential universes that could make good episodes. Now many of you may think I'll say Nightmare Moon or Discord Universe, but I still think Chrysalis has potential as a villain, and an alternate universe episode could give her that chance to shine. Especially if Zecora is her foil. It's like that saying, a zebra can't change its stripes, which is probably a racial slur in the Ponyverse. Whereas a changeling, by its very nature, changes who and what it is. Number 6. Discord's backstory. We don't know that much about Discord. I mean, we know he's the being of chaos, but apart from that we don't really know him. Like, how old is he? Where did he come from? Is he the only one of his kind or are there others? And if so, where are they? Did he and Starswell the Bearded have a romantic relationship? Will the Brony fandom murder me for shipping those two? Number 5. The CMC Grown Up. I'm sure we all thought that when we grew up we'd get to do whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. Go to bed when we wanted, drink alcohol. I would say unlock the parental settings on Netflix, but there was no Netflix when I was a kid. But then we grew up and found out that it was more responsibility than freedom. Especially since all the cool things on Netflix is region locked. So I think that would make a good episode for the CMC where they learn the responsibility of being grown up. Number 4. Rainbow Dash, the Fashionista. Now I know what you're all thinking. And yes, I did nick this idea from Ranma 1/2. But what can I say, it's a good episode, and I think Rarity would like this. Or who knows, maybe it'll make a good Scootaloo episode where she has to acknowledge aspects of her idol other than the things that she looks up to Rainbow Dash for. Number 3. Cadence Pregnant. Being a kids show, I'm not expecting them to show the dark side of pregnancy. But I would like there to be more progression with Cadence's pregnancy than just her in shining armour disappearing all season until their kid is introduced. Number 2. Celestia gets an episode. Granted, Celestia isn't exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. And she's older than Daniel O'Donnell fans. But surely you could come up with some sort of episode for her. After all, with Luna returning from the moon, the new Princess Twilight, and Cadence being pregnant, she must feel less popular than she's gotten used to these past 1,000 years. So maybe they could do an episode where Celestia tries to reconnect with the kids. Number 1. Friendship is Magic Equestria Girls crossover. Okay, it's probably no secret at this point that I'm more of a fan of Equestria Girls than Friendship is Magic. So I would like to see an Equestria Girls Friendship is Magic crossover episode. Actually, I was disappointed that there wasn't one last season. And there are so many possibilities for an episode. Sunset Shimmer could return to Equestria, a character from one world could go to the other, the Canterlot High students could take a school trip to Equestria. I mean, the portal is just outside. I'd also like to see less mid-season breaks next season. And that's my list of some of the things I'd like to see in the upcoming season. But what would you like to see? Please feel free to post it down below. But before I finish, like I said at the start of this video, with my job and the Christmas rush, I'm not sure what my work schedule will be like for next month or so. I am going to try to get the 10th episode of My Little Ponytails review up before the new year. But after that, I'll probably start working on getting a video out for the first week in January rather than rushing out videos after a long day's work. Well, until next time.